All right, guys, let's go down here in the bottom left side of the map, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is Dark. In the top right, we've got Shopify Rebellion's Byun. I do apologize, there is a bit of vacuuming going on in my house right now, so if it's a little bit noisy in the background, and you probably only can hear the edge of it, but that should die down in just a few minutes into this cast. So thanks for the patience with that, everybody, and I hope the audio garble isn't too bad. For now, though, this is the ESL NA Weekly Cup number 158, I'm going to guess. I don't know, I always get the number wrong, something like that. Obviously being cast live on the 17th of January. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll probably be up there in the near future. And that usually means it was a pretty fun series. These two have played a lot of series recently. I feel like in the online scene, including some of the bigger tournaments, Byun is in every single top 4, often in the finals. And he's almost always playing against either Dark or Hero in those grand finals. Like, I feel like Dark and Hero are doing well. They don't actually play each other that much, though, because Byun always eliminates at least one of them and then plays the other one in the finals, and it's about 50-50 at that point. So it definitely feels like Byun's on a roll. He's got a command zone on the low ground. It's a Blind Reaper Expand, but he sends another SCV. That's just to build the depot. All right. It's Royal Blood, of course. For those who don't know, we've got gold bases on the side of this map. Single gas geyser, 6 gold minerals, but incredibly exposed from both behind the mineral line and just because, hey, it's out in the middle of nowhere. You've also got quite a lot of destructible rocks that can be taken down in this map, which you can, of course, use to open up new paths across the map. And not only there, but you've got these corner bases that are quite wide, and there's these little tasteless secret corridors down the far left and far bottom right of the map as well. Reaper's going to come in. Let's see if he can get attacks. It looks like there are 6 Zerglings being built. Royal Blood is one of the smaller maps in the pool. Obviously, nothing as small as the Moondance or in Waterfall or Inside Out Rush Distance, I would imagine. I think even the small maps in this pool have +1 second on that. Babylon may be the exception, which I think might come in at 32 seconds. Probably about 33, though, for most of these. Now, when we talk about seconds, of course, with map distance, we're talking about how long it takes a worker to move from one ramp to the other ramp. It's not a perfect measurement, but it's pretty consistent. Now, he just cancelled a drone to start another queen, and he's hit a big supply block on 36. A huge mistake for Dark here. Already having to kill one of his own lava. Even though you get a full refund, the lava is dead. You can't get that one back. And building a few overlords. Dark pretty consistently, I would say he's the best player in the world who gets very commonly supply blocked on 36, because this is the noob supply block number. Everyone out there, let me know your numbers. Terrans on 44, Protoss on 44 as well, Zergs on 36. I think these are the most common ones, but then other players have their own special number that they always get supply blocked on. Like, you'll hear someone, they're like, oh, 92, man, 92, every game. Doesn't matter how many depots they build, I always get supply blocked on 92. And I'm like, okay, like, different players have their own number. I said 44, I meant 46. Sorry, guys, I'm not so good at numbers. Ooh, does he get trapped? Nah, gets on out of there. But he hasn't got any damage, has he? Just forced a Spore Trick, and that was it, really. So, no big damage going down or anything like that. Banshee is building here. So, 3 command centers, intercloaked Banshees, and a few Hellions hanging out at home. Now, Dark taking this third. I imagine he takes the 4th down to the right. Because if you take this 4th, I mean, if you lose control of this middle area, you're screwed. Now, I do want to be a little critical of Dark because he's not using his Lings to break the rocks down. And I feel like every Zerg I've seen on this map that hasn't broken the rocks down, it's come back to bite them in the butt later on. And on a lot of these new maps in general, Hellions just diving. Ooh, if he got an Evo down in time, that would have been good. I mean, pretty decent drone surround, but not good enough. And that's going to be 9 drones, which is well worth losing 4 Hellions, I'd say. I say that, and I immediately second-guess myself. Because, look, Dark's now allowed to take a 4th. There's nothing stopping his creep spread, so he's going to start getting that out there. Byun's got 4 more Hellions out, which is pretty good. He sees the Lings, so that's good for him. He's going to float his 3rd command center out as well. Second Banshee he's going to wait for before he moves across the map. Just keeping that Banshee at home is a bit of safety. Good safety precaution against a guy who could shove roaches at you at any point. There's no safe period of the game in this one. The tile set here is reminding people a little bit of Automaton. Automaton was a very cool map. Serral was doing proxy hatch onto the gold base, Ravager Ling aggression on that map. It was a very cool map. It's where Fantasy invented the one-base proxy Hellion drop into one-base battlecruiser tank all-in. A very, very slick build order that I still pull out from time to time. All right, 1-1 upgrades are on the way, going up to 5 barracks as well. And keeping the 4 Hellions alive to dissuade any Zerglings from messing up the mining on this third base. The Banshees float in straight past those Queens, but the moment they're in spore range, they take quite a few hits. Going to try and get in the main, but there's a lair finished. So there should be an overseer. Yep, there it is. Oh, get out of there, Byun. He's going to lose one. The Banshees have been effectively useless this game. He's going to have to go back with that and get it repaired up. Dark is going to explode into workers. You should definitely put guys on gas. He's very slow to get up to 4 gases. Is Dark... Oh, Dark's going to rush Ultras. Okay, he's been doing this a lot in the new patch. The Ultras are way better. High likelihood. He doesn't always do it because, of course, Dark builds are scrappy and intuitive. But very commonly, if you see him on just 4 gases, it means he's going to drop an infestation pit any second now. And he's also just going to go up to a 5th base in the near future. Basically, go for that fast hive for Ultras. But no, he does decide to drop a Hydra Den. So he changes his mind. He says, nah, Lingbane Hydra. Hydras are buffed a little bit on this patch. And that's... I mean, you need a lot more gas. If you're going to go Hydra Lingbane, you can't do it on 4 gas. So he's going to go 6 gas now, but only after saturating his 4th base. Okay, fair enough. Dark isn't really the type to play a massive worker count. He prefers hanging in the mid-70s rather than the Zergs like Raynor, who'll go up to about 90 drones sometimes. He's more like, no, I want more units so I can kill your units. And he is going an infestation pit as well, so we'll see. He hasn't started Hydra upgrades just yet, or built any Hydralisks, which means he might change his mind and just go Lurkaden, in which case the buildings are out of order. But I mean, you're going to get sick of me pointing out how the build isn't optimized because it's Dark, and none of his builds are optimized ever. On the other hand, he's unpredictable. He's very hard for his opponents to read. And the power of being inefficient and doing things weird is it's hard to make predictions. Oh, Dark's Creep Tumor taunting Byun there. Byun not quite able to get it. Ooh, here we go. A couple of those units getting picked up. 3 more reactors. Reactors, everybody. Reactors. He's going mass marine tank. Oh me, oh my. Armory's finished, so we do want to see at least +2 attack start up momentarily, but he's going to be going for a giant parade of marines. Trading, and not letting Dark get into lurkers is the goal. Dark is going Hydra upgrades, but he's also going straight for Hive for the Lurker Viper. He might just be doing it for Vipers and Adrenal Glands. Neither side's remembered their 2-2. Finally, Byun remembers. He's got a pretty good setup. That tank on the back could get flanked by Lings pretty easily, but the rest of it's very solid. And he's going to be just massing Marines across this map. As these 3 barracks come up, guys, he can build like 18 Marines at a time. It is crazy. 9 + 6 is 15. Not once again, not good at numbers. Shh. Don't judge me, guys. Nice defense by Byun the Banshee. So good at stopping these sort of run-bys and attacks. But Dark says, okay, you shut down my attack, I'll escalate it. He's going to come around behind. He's going for it. Big Ling Bane flank. The Baneling's going to have to go after those Marines on the top side. They land massive hits on the top right of our screen. Clears all the tanks except the new one. But no, even the new one goes down, and Byun can't save it in time. Oof. Losing your tanks is huge. With this style, you only can build 1 tank at a time. He'll eventually add Liberators once he gets about 10 medevacs, but he's only hit 3 medevacs right now, and he's not even building more of them, which is definitely a mistake in my opinion. Notice how he's also expanding to the front because he wants to just drive a wedge into the Zerg territory and just push on that path. That's why he's now rotating to the right. None of these rocks got taken down over there, even though those ones did. And that means this area in the middle of the map sucks to fight on. I'd like to see Dark go around the far left flank and try to cut in on this angle into the natural. You can see Byun's covering that very well. Adrenal Glands is now coming in. There's 2 Vipers out as well. That'll be game changers against the low number of siege tanks. They'll get abducted. And an Ultra Cavern goes down as well. My god, he's playing such a bizarre style. He's made a... He cancelled his Hydra upgrade, actually. This... He could have just gone Ultras from the start of the game, but he keeps changing his mind. He's like, no, I'm going Hydras. Now I'm starting Hydra upgrade. Oh, wait, I'm canceling it and going Hive. A classic Dark build order. I mean, Raynor and Dark are the 2 best players in the world at playing Lair Tech, but by golly are their Hive transitions awkward and just weird to what we're used to seeing from players that have that plan mapped out from the start. Blinding Cloud lands on one tank, lands on the other tank. It's just Marines versus Ling Bane. That tank surviving and red hit points on the right side does get a few more shots off as a result of that. The Ling Bane, is it in big enough numbers? Feels like Byun's taking a decent fight, but there's still a few Banes left, and oh man, those last Banes get some pretty juicy hits, but Byun holds on. His 4th base is up. It may be an orbital, but he's here at the front. I'd say that's good for Byun to clear the rest of the army. You see what I see in that production tab, Internet. You see Ultra Caverns, you see Chitinous Plating, and we know that's not good for a Terran who's massing Marines. If he's got a lot more Marauders, if he's already got a good Liberator tank count, he can deal with the Ultras. Mass Marine, though, fighting Ultras, oh man, it's like using a World War tank up against a bloody Tiger tank. You know, you're in World War II, you're up against the biggest, most heavily armored, absolute monster, and you're using a goddamn pea shooter from World War I. Funnily enough, Byun didn't even get there, because Dark literally just overwhelmed with the Lingbane counterattack and just did it too well. Really nice play by Dark. Alright guys, well, map number 2 is going to be on Neo-Humanity, one of my favorite maps in this pool, because it is quite fun. Dark's down here, and keep in mind this map has gold minerals that can be mined with 2 worker trips on either one. Top left, we've got Byun there, and it looks like barracks going down after the depot. Pretty standard opening. The fun feature in this map is not only is there this base out here with a rich gas geyser, so rich gas is very, very available in the middle of the map, but exposed at the same time. But also, if like tanks ever get sieged out here, they cover. They're so hard to get at because they're nestled in a tight little corner and they reach very far to separating the opponent's natural and third. That's more common, I would say, against Protoss, where you can do a very early tank push, get 2 tank siege there, start building bunkers around it, and then just like reinforce it, and it's hard for Protoss to deal with and defend their third base. Unlikely Dark will really struggle with that since he should have enough units to defend it unless the game goes really bad. Now here we have the cooling towers. 4 cooling towers all connected. If you break down any one of them, all 4 of them collapse. And that puts rocks there, there, and there. Essentially really obstructing this direct path through the middle of the map. And of course, this red area denotes a slow zone. Any unit moving through there moves 50% slower. It does not change attack speed though. But like a disruptor shot kind of counts as a unit, so it'll also move at half speed. Sorry, just needed a little drink of water there to keep the voice going. As you can see, guys, 14 minerals. You mine 7 minerals a trip off the gold. It's actually quite worth, I think, just sending a worker to mine all this. Because, yeah, it's a fair bit of resources. It adds up, right? 8 times 14. It's like 120 plus 28. 148 minerals there. Even though you got to run back and forth a little faster. Probably offsets it because it is rich minerals. Sorry, guys. Reaper arrives. Dark with good micro so far. Let's see, that queen pushes it back. Oh, he goes for the tumor. Oh, Byun strikes deep, dives into Tumor Island, and ends up just ripping that one right away. Very well done. It's got, of course, a 3rd command center coming up behind it. So once again, nice solid 3 command center opening. It's going to go 2nd gas before starting those Hellions. Dark has completely pulled off gas, but he hasn't actually started Ling speed. Now, that could be a conscious choice, but knowing Dark, he may have just forgotten. I expect after these drones, it's going to be his next minerals, but maybe just wants to play a very greedy game. You never know if it's a mistake or a conscious choice, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, assume it's a conscious choice. He is supply blocked on 44, so yet again, supply blocked in the early game is Dark. Is it going to matter that much? No, not really, because his 3rd hatchery finished, so he's able to build more drones before the Overlord pops anyway. And he was very clean on his macro up to that point, really dumping all of his minerals into just queens, drones, and you'll see that he's now rallied to his 3rd base as well, or he should have. He's mining open the base on the left side to get a 4th. Cute. All right, Reaper's going to jump in the main. Ling speed is nowhere near ready. Hellions dive in and get themselves a 2nd creep tumor kill. The Reaper already got one earlier. Queen's going to have to take a little bit of a bathroom break to respread that creep. You guys watch closely whenever they spread creep. That is, in fact, how they do it. We can watch this last to show you guys the biology of it all. She'll put one down in a moment. No. Come on, Dark. There's Hellions over there. All right. With the Hellions nearby, he's not going to be putting any tumor down on the right side. We'll see how it goes. Drone could go out to that left. We'll see what happens. Hellions are moving around. Banshee as well. Oh, Queens, please move over there. Oh, no, he's going to get more tumors if he wants them. Grabs one, pulls back, forces Dark to pull all the drones away as well. It's a tiny bit of damage. Loses probably 20 minerals there, just interrupting all those workers, having to have them spread back around and all that stuff. Banshees didn't do much in the last game, so we might want to be a bit more conservative with them this time around. Dark's taking a super early 4th base again. And I think you got to start punishing him with like Hellbat timings or something. Because Dark is playing so greedy right now. Second gas is up. Oh my gosh, he's playing disgustingly greedy. Only 7 queens as well, and a lair. Oh man, if he gets away with all this, that's crazy. He sees the Banshees as well as the barracks follow-up. Byun's Banshees will head forwards on this map. I mean, Byun's macroing clean as, right? He's going to have a good one time and good marine timing. But on this map, I wonder, is there a good push path for Terran? It seems like more of a late game map that you split. To me, I look at this as a split map because you get 4, 5, and then even 6 bases pretty easily. Like this one, I think, is not too hard to defend. Especially if you break down the rocks and then you defend those rocks so the Zerg can't actually break them later to clear the paths, then you can control the center of the map really well. Banshee's coming in here. They're going to pick off just a few Zerglings. Value is value, and he's just going to take out what he can. Takes out the Baneling Cocoon, gets a bit of extra value on that one. Lair is not ready, and he can just focus that Spore, which is yet again, every building is a drone. And he's going to think about pulling away. Of course, he doesn't realize there's no Overseer this time around, and that drone falls. Good damage on the Banshees this time around. 1-1 upgrade start up for Dark, about 40 seconds behind Byun's. Pretty decent creep spread by Dark, but nothing that's too out of control. Looks like another tumor will get found here momentarily. But Byun backing away from it, being cautious. He's focusing on his macro right now. Marine tank, no Widow Mine control. Surprised there's no Widow Mines coming in. I feel like with the way Dark's playing, he would allow you to just set those Widow Mines up on the front line. And I always thought, looking at these new maps, that Widow Mines were going to be the way to play them because they are a little bit bigger. I think later on, as this series goes on, we'll get there. Byun, of course, vetoed Altitude, one of the biggest maps in the pool. Whereas Dark, I'm sure, vetoed some of the smaller maps like Babylon, maybe Ancient Cistern as well. All right, Banshee's getting a few more kills. I mean, they're grabbing so much value. This is a very different early game to the last one. Dark's so focused on the Hellions, but the Hellions have never really dived in. 3 more barracks are building out front the base. We've got an armory going on there as well. Queen's going to try and push these back, but even more creep tumors going down. The Queens have to spend energy respreading immediately. And you can see, there we go. That's what I'm talking about with the biology over there. You can see that Queen just drop trowel. That one as well. Creating some new self-replicating tumors. The Banshees are going to get pushed back. Time to leave, Banshees. You keep these alive. They'll stop run-bys for the rest of the game. You don't want to be out here. Byun just left it hanging out a little bit too long there, and it costs him. My god, there's a lot of creep though, dude. There is a lot of creep. Oh, he loses the second Banshee! That's a disaster, because now Ling run-bys are going to be way more effective, man. And Dark has this watchtower. Byun's trying to push the right side, but his third is naked. If he doesn't instantly pull the SCVs, he's screwed. He's got to go home. He has to go home. He can't fight here. You have to... Oh, he's building an engineering bay to block the mineral line. Oh, that's kind of cute, but I don't think it's a full wall, unfortunately. And he's going to try and shove in at the front. Banelings aren't able to connect. Oh my god, Dark doesn't have enough units. Where are his Banelings? He's got 13 Banelings morphing, but a lot of them are exposed out the front. And they're getting gunned down, and some of these will get big hits. He gets a few big boomies. But I don't know, man. He's on top of his base. Oh, Command Center gets killed at the third of Byun. Byun hasn't even sieged his tank. His Marines are getting gunned down. He might be on 8 barracks, though, and he's got a forward position. And if the Terran has a good position up your guts, then it's a big mistake. He sent too many Lings across the map. Dark playing a little bit fast and loose, and Byun is too tight to get punished by that, man. Oh, Byun doing really well. Oh, one tank gets caught. Does the second one get caught? Oh my god, the Banelings! Oh, it's a hold. It's a hold. Oh, those Banelings. There's just so much creep spread on these big maps, man. Byun he's in trouble now. He's still got a big army supply advantage, but he's only got 1 tank. Losing the tanks made him panic. He stimmed and he stimmed and he stimmed, and his Marines were so low that the Banelings could one-shot him. He's rebuilding Command Center on the high ground. He's got his 2-2 upgrade started. He's thinking about playing a slightly longer game. And you can see, of course, that the rally of units does have to regroup a little bit whenever these Lings come by. Start catching those units. Dark is pushed back to 3 bases, which makes this a playable position for Byun. I say that, and then I see there's an Ultra Cavern. So apparently Dark's Hive finished as well. that hive, that Ultra Cavern will be massive in a low economy situation. All right. Oh, you got to repair this wall, dude. That wall, this depot could die in about 2 seconds of Zerglings attacking it. But he says, no, everything needs to be put on the aggression right now. That's the only way we can make this work. Dark, we're on his camera right now. He's going to notice the drop in his main. He's not looking. He doesn't notice it. He's not looking, guys. Now he sees it, but a little bit too late. The tank is already there, sieged up on the low ground. He's going to send some lings to flank it, though. Oh, great split, dude. The fact that he managed to do that in that chaotic situation, really impressive. Gets the siege tank down. A bunch of drones and stuff do go down. Those Marines take out a couple of Banelings. 2 Marines fall. That saves the majority of the units. Lovely plays here by Byun as he floats his third back down to retake that bad boy. Now, if Dark can get a 4th base established, he's got Ultras, he's got Vipers, and he's got a +2 Chitinous plating. But Byun is keeping up his upgrades as well. He's got +3 armor on the way, which means his Marines will smash Zerglings. They don't only have +1 melee, they just won't die to him, really. Unfortunately for him, Banelings will still always be a concern, especially with a lot of creep on the map. He's multi-pronging like mad right now, but oh, the army coming forward on the left. Dark does pull back from it. Don't know if he really needed to. And Byun, he's going to try and wedge a tank in the corner would be great. He's going to put it there, actually. Oh, yeah, creates a little bit of a wall with the watchtower. Fair call, fair call. And those Marines... Oh, no! Okay, they almost went on top of the Morphing Banes. Ends up all right at the end of the day. Here comes the Ling run by. Liberators are a little bit slow to siege up here. The Marines also slow to stim. You're going to have to do a stimmy to get that Winnie. That siege tank on the 3rd does end up defending, but oh, mass Ling, Ultra coming in. Parasitic Bomb, the Ultra doing really well. Oh, he's got to get out. He's got to get those Marines out of there, but actually, no, he tries to hold his ground. Liberator siege is up. Don't know if that's going to get the job done, though. Feels like Dark here, hanging on with just a few units. He's got 1 Space Cow Ultralisk, and he's only now started Chitinous plating, which actually means Marines will smash these Ultras. They only have 3 armor versus Marines that have +2 attack, so they're still doing 5 damage a shot, which is not bad. Yes, it's 100 Marine shots to kill an Ultra, and that's the case. But it's not the end of the world. Dark is hanging on like a champ. If Dark could just squeeze 1 more hatchery in, that'd be huge. But look, he's got good creep in the middle. He's trying to regrow it on the left, but not on the right. And Byun is so good in these scrappy kind of 2.5 base games. Baneling rolls in, unable to get the kill. The medevacs are going to heal that up. And the double drop comes towards the main base. Just got to make sure you don't lose these, because one of those is already very low. Queen's all moving out of the main right now. He's going to dive into that mineral line. Only gets 1 drone. I wouldn't mind him just clicking that hatchery maybe, just to get a little bit of value. Okay, there we go. Does take out the Spore Crawler. Good micro. Pretty good positioning there. And he says, I'll just stand and fight, man. We have +2 armor versus +1 melee Zerglings. Oh, those Zerglings are getting hammered. This is a great fight for Byun. Those are the fights he needs more of. He's ahead 6,000 units in the resources lost. He's got a 4th command center on the way, and he's going full macro mode. He no longer is playing a desperate I need to kill you game. He's saying, well, if you're just stuck in survival mode, rather than focusing on killing you, I'll just drop, harass, deny bases, try and be annoying. And he's doing a great job of it. Concussive shells, +3 attack coming in, way ahead on the upgrades. But Dark does start at +3 carapace, so maybe not that far ahead. I thought Dark would be forgetting those upgrades. He's only on 58 drones. Ultra will say goodbye to these Mariners. A couple of Marines get chomped on before pulling back. Now that Chitinous plating is done, it's a very different story, guys. It's a 6 armor Ultra versus an 8 damage Marine. So from before where they were doing 5 damage a shot, they're now doing 2 damage. It'll be 3 damage once +3 finishes, but then the armor's going to cancel that out soon after anyway. So at the end of the day, it will be 7 armor Ultralisks versus 9 damage Marines. And doing 3 damage a shot just ain't great. The Marauders, of course, do much more damage, 24 versus armored. And minus the 7, so they'll be doing 17 damage a shot. Liberators also very high damage units. Oh, plenty of units on the D. And look at that tank position, guys. You never want to attack into those tanks there. You just can't get at them very easily. Looks like Widowmine fired on just a single Zergling as well. He goes back in for more, does Dark. Byun's way ahead on supply. Pathogen Glands goes down. I wish more Zergs would mix this in earlier in this matchup. I keep talking about Pathogen Glands and just a few Infestors are game changers, but we often only see players do it when they are way behind or forced into a very static endgame. Dark is one of the best with them, but he doesn't have them up yet. He's outnumbered, he's outgunned. Byun's going to make his life very difficult. Creep pushed back very far. Even though there's a little outpost to creep on the top right, I think Byun isn't going to care about that. He's got only 4 or 5 medevacs here. It's not really the fight that you want to take just yet because you can't pick up and get out. But Liberator Harass comes in the left side at the same time. So he's going to get some economic damage no matter what. He's got Widow Mines spread backwards that he can retreat through. The Liberator does do a bit of a siege, re-siege. And okay, he's got to watch out. There's Lingbane Ultra coming in from behind. Oh, big boomy Widow Mine on both the flanking force and the other one. Unfortunately, he leaves a bit of Marine Marauder behind. And of course, the Overseer will allow the cleanup. Those units are doing what they can do. The Liberator, oh man, he's so quick. One step ahead of Dark in this game is Byun. Quickly re-sieging the Liberator. I am very excited, guys. I think we've got the makings of a very big series if the players keep playing like this. Liberator is going to finally go down, but it gets a few more drones before it does. And oh, you're kidding me. He micros it one more time. Dark probably stopped looking, assuming it's going to die, which means we've got the Liberator selected. If you want to watch the kill count, it's in the bottom right. The Marine Marauder focusing down the Ultras. Parasitic Bomb does a lot of damage there, but a good split from Byun. And the Bio just smashing on forward. The Liberator still alive with 16 kills in the bottom left. Dark has finally moved to Spore Crawler in the bottom side of the map, but he's losing the fight on the front. And that Liberator was still alive at the very end of the game, about to get shot down, but Byun able to push through. That game just went crazy. Dark, I think, should have had a massive advantage if he had just 5 or 10 more Banelings at home when the push came in. But even though he ruined Byun's economy, he could not defend at home. All right, guys, game number 3, Byun in the top left side of Gresvan. A rather long map. I feel like this map, I haven't played it much. I'm often playing Protoss players recently and Zerg players where I don't want to give them too much room. And so I have been vetoing this map as Terran as well as Altitude. Interesting that Byun hasn't, though. Yeah, a third base out here. I can't remember if there's any rich bases. I don't think there's any rich bases on this one. I mean, this has got to be a biomine map, I think. Just because you've got too many wide open areas, I think Widow Mines will be better than tanks, yeah. 4 Lings on the way versus Marine first. That's a good start for Byun. Oh, actually, no, that's Reaper first. Never mind. And another 2 Zerglings being built as well. So 6 Zerglings in total to help Dark defend the Reaper. Ling's going to go forward. Byun goes for a crazy run forwards towards the drone line. Almost loses it. It does waste a bit of mining time at least, which is damage. Probably wasted 10 minerals of mining on that drone. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, Dark! Dropping the question mark. For those who don't know, I call that the noob maneuver. I do this every game, where whenever they're not watching, I leave vision and I immediately turn around and hope that they're looking at their base, and I hope they're not looking and I can surround the Reaper with the Lings. I remember I used to always get pult with this every time after he first came back to StarCraft streaming after like military service and stuff. And he'd always be like, are you serious? Like, what? It's such a stupid move. Like, you know, basically you give me a free Zergling kill if I'm watching and you're just hoping I'm not looking. But Dark goes, catches Byun not looking, and then he gets the kill. And of course Byun is just responds to the question mark with a question mark. It's not the best insult. That's like, you know, basically to translate this for non-StarCraft fans, the question mark is kind of like, oh, what was that, buddy? What was that? You know, it's kind of like a bit of a taunt. But I think the equivalent, if you were just ribbing a buddy, is if you go, oh, you're a bit of an idiot, aren't you? And then they kind of look affronted and they go, you're a bit of an idiot, aren't you? And you're like, well, that was my line. I said that. Can't just repeat my own line back at me. Doesn't work. It doesn't have a good impact, does it? But Byun apparently didn't want to spend too much time thinking about a better response, so fair call. Creep on this map is interesting. Where do you take a 4? I would imagine on the top above the natural here. So you got this base. Yeah, he's moving a drone. He's going to go try and... He's sending a drone to take a base at like 4:30. Dude, he's been taking his 4th so quickly. Dark. I think he only just put back on gas as well. Yeah, he puts back on gas at 4 minutes. And he gets a 4th down at 4:28. Dude, he's asking to get all in. It's only a single Banshee this time. And Byun is going to swap the barracks off the tech lab. Or the starport off the tech lab. Looks like the Reaper died. Only 1 Zergling's gone down. The spores are up pretty early this game. Double engineering bay before 2 barracks. Interesting. So he wants to go very quick upgrades. Does Byun this time around. And he's going to come in with that Banshee as well. Now, he's not gone cloak, so it's not a huge investment. Does get spotted, though, by that Overlord, of course, as he comes in here on the south of the map. Queen's in position. Spore Crawler there as well. And she flies in, she flies out. Hellion's going to start pressuring on the north. That's 8 Hellions. There's a lot of Hellions. They could dive. There's only 13 Lings. So they could have dived and done big damage, but I think it's a little late. Yeah, I think pulling back's the right choice there because they would have taken a lot of damage running past the Queens. The Lings were all pre-spread to get a bit of a surround. Dark didn't even build more Zerglings there. He is such a ballsy player to the point of just straight up risky. But being risky, you know, I always remember my early days of getting good at StarCraft 2 or trying to get good. And one of the people who was kind of mentoring me a little bit, I was like, dude, you're always so greedy. We're playing customs. I was like, what the hell, man? You can't just do this. And he was like, it's only greed if you get caught. Like, if you kill me in that window, sure, then it's greed. But if not, then guess what? It's not greed if it pays off, basically. He's like, it's your job to actually mix in things that will punish that. You know, you can't just be like, oh, you're playing greedy. That's dumb. Actually think about the gamble that's being taken, calculate it, and go, okay, how can I change my play to more often than not catch out my opponent's gambles? Now, because Dark is so unpredictable, it's hard to make that calculation. But I remember that being an eye-opening kind of experience to me as a StarCraft player. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. There will be players that cut those corners until you put a bit of fear into them, you know? 6 gases once again going up on this 4 base mineral. 77 workers. I don't know if you can handle this greed. I mean, he's going to do a Hellbat Marine timing with Widow Mines rallying in behind it. He's going 4th command center, 2nd factory. The Hellions are very quick, so they're usually the last thing to rally to the front to join this sort of attack. But if he can't get a good trade-off soon, I mean, Dark's economy is absolutely roaring. A couple of Banelings morphing there. They're going to roll into the 3rd base about 30 seconds from now. Try to remember to keep an eye on that. The Hellions have not joined in on the front. So it is just a handful of Marines and Widow Mines. Easy to defuse this if he saw where it burrowed. Hellions are going to join in as well. Marines and Mines. Oh! Oh, very easy to defuse those if you're not looking. And look, the reason he's engaging, this is a messy fight for Dark, but he's doing it as a distraction. He says, look, it's not the best fight, but you know what is? Boom, baby! Oh, bam! 13 SCVs. And yes, he lost a few extra Zerglings to the Hellions, but well worth it if it sets up the Banelings there against an opponent who is distracted. 1 SCV blocked a Baneling in the depot line for a little bit. But despite that, 13 SCV is very good damage. If he can saturate his 5th mineral line right now, he can swarm Byun all game long. But it's Dark. He's going to stop at 82 drones by the looks of it. So not going as far as some players would in this scenario. And no Hydroden. So he's going to go straight to Ultras this time. Up against Drilling Claws. 3 Tech Labs going down. Byun will add Marauders and Ghosts into the mix. And he'll take his 5th base here, no doubt. But yeah. Oh, Zergling going to block him. Oh, watch out. Not that many Banelings, which is a great way to play this quick 4th mass mineral style. You've got so many Zerglings in your army, you don't need that many Banelings. You just need, because you've got so many Zerglings, you can surround everything, and the handful of Banelings will very likely connect on your opponent. I do like that Widowmine that he left just over here. Scan some of that creep. Feels like there's a lot of creep to keep it under your thumb. Byun's going to do his best here, see what he can get done. Whoa! Doesn't save any of the Hellbats, surprisingly. Oh, focuses 1 or 2 Banes before picking up and getting out of there. Looks like a Widowmine got a shot off. Don't know how much it actually did, though. Just 1 Banshee out here. Definitely can use that one for run-bys. Looks like Dark is getting ready to do a giant attack into that base. The Widowmine on the north is going to help a lot. Byun is in a super defensive stance. Trying to build some more depots to block out front of that base as well. He's going to go for a big drop, but if Dark goes for a big attack, which I think he will, having this many Marines out of position is going to absolutely ruin his day. I think Dark is about to swing the hammer in with 2-2. Oh, he's going to go pre-2-2. Dark has trouble containing himself, guys. He really should wait for 2-2 upgrades, I believe, because +2 attack's already done. But he might have to react defensively. Knowing Dark, he's going to react offensively, though. He sees the quad drop. It starts unloading in there, doing some damage. A few Lings go in, not that many just yet, but yep, Dark F2s, and he goes for it. Oh my god. Maybe this Widowmine could get a big boomy. Oh, no, it didn't get as nearly as big of a shot as I thought it might. Oh, so many Banelings rolling in. Dark going for a gigantic YOLO here. These SCVs need to scatter, man, and some of them will die Some of them will go down. Lots of depots getting torn down. But the Lings get stuck on the production. The Banelings derping right now. A misclick from Dark really costing him. Marines on the other side pick up and then redrop. Banelings blow up the ramp, but they'll blow up on the Marauder there. Too many fights in too many places, and I gotta say, Dark has been sloppy in this fight. Those Banelings did not go and find the 4th mineral line. Nothing did, in fact. There's still 60 workers behind it. This needed to do catastrophic damage if you're going to ignore the Marines at home, which he did for so very long. And now Byun survives there, takes out the 5th base of Dark. So it's back to 4 base versus 5 base. Byun in the lead. He may be down 15 workers right now, but he's got a bigger army supply. He's ahead on the upgrades. Dark's trying to go double Spellcaster, Viper and Infestor right now. I don't agree with this. 4 Vipers against a guy who's on Biomine. Vipers are very good versus tanks with Abducts. Blinding Cloud's not bad versus Bio, but only is it good at supporting units that you already have, which he does not have many units yet. Okay, the Marines and the Marauders pick up, save a bunch of those. Nice triple drop play here from Byun. I mean, I guess he can spam parasitic bombs on the Medivacs, which will be good. Abduct a few of the units, maybe the full Medivacs, into his Queens to kill them. 3-3 kindness plating, pathogen glands, and ultras are on the way. Dark is just going to try to catch back up in this scenario. Byun is rebuilding SCVs 5 at a time, though. Having a 5-base setup is super sick. He's got Widowmine there, Widowmine there. He's putting Widowmines out on every path to see when these attacks come. He accidentally removed that one, though. He's still got one on the ramp. Maybe it'll be good enough. Banshee out front dies to the Queen, up on that top right of our screen. And we've got the triple drop going around the backside right now. Byun's going to drop in there. One of those Medivacs will fall. No, barely gets out. He's got to push forward on the left, push on the top right, push on the left. And there aren't really the numbers needed for Dark to hold on here. A Widowmine already lands on the Queens and the Banes. Queens are doing a glorious job of tanking. But as the Lings come in, the Widowmines let their presence be known. And a lot of the Lings get blasted, as do some of the Overseers. And trying to unload and do a bit of a scan there. Unfortunately, there's creep everywhere, and that is slowing down Byun. I feel like he's at the precipice. Right now, you know, Dark is Mufasa. He's hanging onto the edge of that crag by a single claw, and all Byun needs to do is just stomp on him a little bit, you know, go for the old Scar, and get a bit jealous of his brother there. Nice parasitic bombs. Does lose a Viper, though. These 2 Medivacs, at least one escapes. Both escape, in fact. Oh, big fight in the bottom left, but once again, the same Widowmines are landing big hits all over, guys. That Widowmine's on 20 kills. That one is on 11. And this Widowmine here, 0 kills so far, but lots of kills across these. And he isn't going ghosts yet, funnily enough. So Byun's trying to stay more mobile. He doesn't want to slow things down. These maps aren't as good for turtling with ghosts, which puts the pressure on him to keep attacking. Maybe gives Dark the opportunity to get back in the game. So far, not really finding it. But leading around by gets in, causing some damage. If he can hold it home at the same time, then maybe, just maybe, a few Banes in those Marines could change everything. The hatchery goes down. Byun is playing hot drop style here. Oh, and they're going to get on out of there. This base survived with only 4 SCVs going down as well. He puts his workers back on gas. Ghosts and cloak for those ghosts are starting to come out. An extra command center is on the way, of course, and that is in his main base. An extra command center, sorry, hold that. 3. One will go north and become a planetary, the other 2 morphing into extra orbitals. Byun's got amazing infrastructure behind this. Dark unable to keep pace after what I thought was an amazing early game for Dark. I really felt that fast 4th base was going to pay off for him in a big way. But it's funny. I mean, we thought these maps would be a bit more Zerg favored in this matchup, and yet the Terran players are just going back to a more mobile, more map-consuming style, and they're doing it so well. Byun here just looking exceptional on this map. Great fungal! Whoa, Dark with a killer fungal. He chains it, but there's so many Marauders and Medivacs. They're able to heal through that. There's only about 4 Ultras here, and especially if you get a few good Widowmine hits, the Lings and the Banes disappear. He's going to pick up a few units, just drop them on the high ground and get rid of the hatch, trying to force Dark to attack down this ramp. Another fungal goes down. Widowmine gets a bit of friendly fire as well as some Zerglings, and you can see the Ultra takes a lot of damage. That hatchery gets shot down. And even going to be able to kill some of those units from the low ground. Another fungal lands, but only on a few units. The parasitic bomb might be more impactful in the top left, but he spreads that one as well. And Byun is just rallying freely to this point across the map. He just feels like, oh yeah, it's fine. Now, he thinks there's a base in the far top. He doesn't realize just how broke Dark is. I mean, so Byun is going to go to the far top, look to kill the base, but there is no base. It's, yeah, he's sending drones there, but they're going to go down. They're going to go downtown, man. Dark unable to hang on. These new Ultralisks apparently not enough for him. Even though they are a very strong unit, on their own they can't really do it. And it just felt like Byun was a bit too far ahead on the supply. When you've got that momentum in that supply, the damage output of a Terran army is always able to look fantastic. Because when a Terran's winning a fight, a high damage fragile army wins a fight, usually in a rather dominating fashion. The problem is when they lose that critical damage output, you get to see the fragility of just how weak these Terran units can be when they're on the back foot. That's what we haven't seen yet. Just kind of adding some context for anyone who might already be throwing their arms in the air and saying how broken Terran is or this or that. It's always about the bigger picture. These players haven't played much on these maps, on these games, and we need to see more games to really draw any 100% conclusions. But the Ultra Ling Infestor coming forward. The Widowmines are there trying to hang on. God, these Widowmines, it's a field of bloody disaster. Ultras in the front line get shot down. Great fungal. Oh man, so many ghosts just died. That was beautiful. A red hit point Ultra escaping on 11 hit points, not something you like to see, but the Vipers get gunned down by Widowmine plus Snipe combo. Dark can't replenish this. Byun can. Byun's got his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases mining. He's also got more command centers. The entire south side of the map. He never even moved these Widowmines from here earlier, which allows him to maybe march them forward just a little bit would be a good idea and start sieging the bottom. And if you attack into the ghosts to stop them sniping, that means you're attacking into a field of Widowmines. Dark Nosy is done. And Byun absolutely smashing